Madeleine, do you think this app to keep women safe is a good idea and to be welcomed?
Absolutely not. Tracking women, tracking the movements of women is not a solution to male violence. We are already one of the most surveilled nations in the world. We have masses of CCTV cameras everywhere. And unfortunately, we know that this doesn't prevent crime, and it certainly doesn't prevent harassment of women and violence against women.
But the woman is asking for the camera to be on them. So this is not a breach of civil liberties, is it at all?
I think it's very unlikely that any woman is going to want to go along with this scheme. If you're walking home alone, you feel vulnerable already. The idea that having an anonymous stranger tracking your movements through the city...
But if it's something that's going to make you feel safer, women will say, bring it on, surely.
I think that it won't make women feel safer. This is the problem. I think it's a solution. It's not a serious solution. I can't see how it's going to work in practice. The idea of being tracked through the city by an anonymous stranger watching your movements. But
they're not. They're not anonymous strangers. They're operating the CCTV. It's an app to make and help women feel safe. I would have thought that with most women, and we'll find out in a moment, I would have thought that most women would have welcomed this.
This kind of scheme is ripe for abuse, and unfortunately, as we've seen, often people in positions of authority do abuse their power that they have. This is the lesson that we really should be learning. If anything, this could open the door to more harassment and more stalking. If we don't know who is going to be operating this, then why should women trust this any more than they should?
Isn't this really that Big Brother watches just against all cameras watching us? I mean, this was a fair talking point in the 1990s, but we've moved on since then. People are over that now. Cameras are everywhere. Anywhere, cameras are on women anyway, whether they ask them to be on them or not.
The expansion of the surveillance state is always a concern. It's something we should always be worried about. And adding a kind of gendered element to it, where women are subjected to even more stringent forms of surveillance, is deeply alarming.
But they will have to ask for that. They're going to go on an app and say, I want you to do this. I want you to follow me.
I think it's a sign of a real failure to protect women. This is institutional failures that have been going on for decades. This is not going to keep women safe, and I highly doubt that many women are going to opt for this kind of just sort of digital stalking through the city.
Let me just ask you finally, would you use the app if it was available where you live to make you feel safer on your walk home from work?
I wouldn't. This wouldn't make me feel safer. I'd feel deeply uncomfortable knowing that I was being tracked and monitored. I deserve to be safe, but also I deserve to have my right to privacy respected. Both of those things can be done together.
I'll be very keen to hear what people think about this one. Very good to talk to you, Madeleine. Thank you very much indeed.